Coach, how comfortable are you with Devin and your plan to cover for the loss of Meta?
I'm comfortable. Obviously, would we want Meta to be able to play and start? Yeah. But, Devin started for us before. We know we have an experienced guy and Matt Barnes sitting there too. And then if we need to, we could slide Kobe over to the small forward also.
What's the latest on what you've been told on how Matt's ankle is?
From my understanding, I think he'll play tomorrow.
Any certain limitations in minutes with it?
Not that they have told me.
Is he able to do any work today?
What's that?
Is he able to do any work today?
No, he's going to do some work soon. He is going to do some work today soon.
How does Meta's absence come into play specifically for this Nuggets matchup?
Well, it's a big small forward that can guard Gallinari, and at times we had him guard Harrington too. And so from that standpoint, defensively it's going to hurt us some. Not only that, there were times too that we slid him over to guard Andre Miller and putting a bigger body on Miller because of Miller's ability to post up and or use the pick and roll very well, coming off and knocking down shots, just trying to have a bigger body there to bother him. But we're going to have other guys step up and fill that void.
What's the biggest challenge the Denver Nuggets suppose for you guys?
Well, they're the number one team in the league in making layups, as crazy as it sounds. But they get to the rim. They base their game off of transition first, so we got to make sure that our transition defense is solid. And then after transition in the half court especially, their driving kick game. Their driving kick game is one of the best in the league. They have a lot of guys that drive the ball, a lot of guys that are capable finishers, and therefore they get to the free throw line a tremendous amount of times too. And it's not like they have a LeBron or Paul Pierce or somebody that might get there, or Tony Parker, but all of those guys get there around 3 to 4 to 5 times a game, so it makes them very, very dangerous because they pass and share the ball well.
Did you have any extra get-togethers the last couple of days, like a film session or dinner or anything like that before the start of the playoffs?
Yeah, we had a lengthy film meeting yesterday.
What was it? Just kind of reviewing the matchup? Was there any message that you were trying to impart?
No, I mean going over our game plan, going over the personnel, going over the message that we wanted our guys to understand from an offensive standpoint, a defensive standpoint, and or a game plan standpoint. But the biggest message for me and our guys, we just want to make sure that we understand two things: the next play, and then cover for one another while communicating. And if we do throughout this playoffs, that applies to anybody that we play. It will help us tremendously.
Mike, in the 3 wins against them, they were by an average of 4 points, which would suggest you're doing the little things. When you look at the film, what were those little things that you want to continue to do?
Well, in the one game that we lost, we know they kicked our behind in transition, and they kicked our behind at the free throw line. So we got to make sure that we try to be a physical defensive team and defend without fouling. And also, we want to make sure we don't continue to give them easy baskets in transition. So those are the 2 biggest things that we have to really make sure that we concentrate on.
Accurate to say that transition game is what you don't want to get caught up in.
Correct. We don't want to play a fast-paced, helter-skelter game. Now, we want to be an opportunistic fast break team, and if we have layups or if we can get to the paint when we push the ball, then go ahead and do that. But we don't want to come down one pass jacket for 3, so that now they get a long rebound and they're running it back the other way. Or we don't want to come down and try to make a home run play so that we turn the ball over and they're attacking us with a poor 4 rounds.
Andrew had very solid games against them. Is he going to be one of your primary resources for the series?
He's always one of my primary resources for any series or anybody we play, yes. Yeah.
What's the balance on the offense? When you have a team, you're playing a team as good as they are in transition.
Right.
The balance between being aggressive on the offensive glass and things like that, and still making sure.
No, I think our 4s and 5s can be aggressive on the glass. I think it's very important for our 1s, 2s, and 3s to make sure that they're getting back in transition. If Pau Gasol takes a 18-foot jumper at the top of the key, it doesn't make sense for him to go crash the glass. Might as well go ahead and get back. So I think we can play these guys similar to how we play most teams that are very good in transition throughout the year.
So Devin,
Last question, guys.
Someone like Devin who instinctively likes to go crouch. Like, you have to be careful.
Devin and Matt, yeah, they're going to have to be careful to a certain degree. And I don't want to completely take that away from them. Just like if a guy can, I'm not a steal coach where I encourage jumping the pass lanes or playing the pass lane. I'm a position defensive coach. I want to keep the ball in front of me. I want the defense to shoot over a hand. And so if that were the case, it's the same with rebounding. I'm gonna back it up. If I have a guy like Kobe, and Kobe gets 2 or 3 steals a game, well, I'm gonna still give him a little bit of freedom to go ahead and do that. But if you miss it once, okay. If you miss it a second time, if you miss it a third time, hey, don't gamble anymore. You're putting us in a bad spot. So it's the same thing with those guys' offensive rebounding. Okay, play your game. Okay, we get burned once. Okay, Matt, you got to get back.